Jade makes decent money. She pays her bills, she saves when she can, and she isn't constantly buying expensive things. But somehow, when an unexpected expense appears, her bank account suddenly feels a lot smaller than it should. One car repair, one medical bill, or one bad month at work can turn into financial panic. And that's because financial stability isn't simply about how much money you make. You can earn $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 a year, and still feel financially trapped if your money has no system. So today, Jade is learning 7 simple money rules that can make your finances much harder to break. The first rule is simple. Don't let your lifestyle grow as fast as your income. Jade used to make $60,000 a year. Then she got a raise, and started making $75,000. She was excited. She upgraded her apartment, got a nicer car, ate out more often, added a few subscriptions, and started ordering delivery more frequently. None of it seemed crazy. But 6 months later, she realized something strange. Her salary had gone up, but her financial situation barely had. Why? Because her lifestyle had expanded almost as quickly as her income. This is lifestyle inflation. And it's one of the easiest ways to earn more, without actually becoming wealthier. When your income rises, you don't have to spend every extra dollar. If you get a $10,000 raise, maybe you use some of it to improve your life. But let the rest build savings, investments, or reduce expensive debt. The goal isn't to live like you're broke forever. It's to make sure your lifestyle grows slower than your income. That difference is where financial freedom starts. The second rule is to build money that you don't touch. Imagine Jade's car suddenly needs a $1,400 repair. She checks her bank account and sees $1,517.
Seriously?
She looks at the repair bill, then at her account, and thinks, seriously. This is why an emergency fund matters. Cars break. Phones die. Appliances fail. Work situations change. Life doesn't care whether you planned for the expense. Without savings, a normal emergency can quickly become credit card debt. Jade doesn't need tens of thousands of dollars sitting in cash immediately. She can start with her first $1,000, then work toward 1 month of essential expenses, and eventually more, if possible. The important part is keeping that money separate from everyday spending. If you see your emergency savings every time you open your banking app, eventually your brain may start treating it like money you can spend. So make it harder to touch. Separate account. Automatic transfers. Out of sight. Out of temptation. The third rule is to stop spending tomorrow's income today. Jade sees a beautiful new car. The salesperson says, it's only $799 a month. Suddenly, the price doesn't sound nearly as scary. And that's exactly why monthly payments can be dangerous. Your brain doesn't naturally think about the total cost. It thinks, I can handle $799. But that payment doesn't exist alone. There's insurance, gas, maintenance, registration, and everything else that comes with the car. And now, part of every future paycheck already belongs to someone else. The same psychology applies to phones, furniture, electronics, subscriptions, and buy now pay later purchases. Only $20 a month sounds harmless. But stack enough small payments together, and suddenly your paycheck arrives with hundreds or thousands of dollars already committed. The rule isn't never finance anything. The rule is to understand the full cost before committing your future income. Ask yourself, would I still want this if I had to pay the full price today? If the answer suddenly changes, that's worth paying attention to. The fourth rule is to save before you spend. Jade gets paid $4,200. She tells herself, I'll save whatever is left at the end of the month. Then rent comes. Food, gas, entertainment, shopping, takeout, random purchases. Another random purchase. And somehow, at the end of the month, only $73 is left. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make with money. They treat saving as whatever survives after spending. But spending has a funny way of expanding, until it uses almost everything available. Instead, Jade flips the order. The moment she gets paid, money automatically moves into savings. Another portion can go toward investments, or other financial goals. Then she lives on what's left. She doesn't have to rely on motivation every payday. Her system makes the decision for her. Because if you wait until the end of the month to save, your brain will find a reason to spend the money first. The fifth rule is to understand emotional spending. Jade is scrolling on her phone when she sees a pair of headphones for $179. Her current ones work perfectly. She doesn't need them. But suddenly, she wants them. She clicks, pays, and 2 days later they're sitting on her desk. A week later, she barely thinks about them. This doesn't always mean someone is irresponsible. Sometimes people spend because they're bored, stressed, tired, or looking for a quick reward. Buying something creates excitement for a moment. But once the feeling disappears, the purchase may not feel nearly as exciting. That's why Jade gives herself a waiting period. 24 hours for smaller unplanned purchases and longer for expensive ones. She can still buy the thing tomorrow, if she genuinely wants it. But she doesn't let a temporary emotion make a permanent financial decision. Sometimes you don't actually want the product. You just wanted the feeling of buying something. The sixth rule is to stop spending money just to look rich. Jade could buy a luxury car, designer clothes, or the newest phone just to make other people think she's successful. But here's the problem. Looking wealthy and being wealthy are completely different things. Wealth is often the money nobody sees. It's savings, investments, assets, financial flexibility. The ability to handle an emergency without panicking. Someone can drive a $70,000 car and have almost nothing saved. Someone else can drive a 10-year-old car and quietly have a large investment portfolio. You can't see someone's net worth through their car window. And you don't build financial freedom by winning an appearance competition. You build it by keeping more of what you earn and putting it toward your future. So Jade learns a simple rule. Don't spend money trying to convince strangers you're doing well. Strangers don't pay your bills. The seventh rule is to use money to buy freedom, not just stuff. At first, Jade thinks money is mainly about buying better things. But eventually she realizes that money can buy something much more valuable. Options. Savings can give her the ability to leave a terrible job. Investments can slowly reduce her dependence on a paycheck. Paying off expensive debt can give her more control over her income. Keeping her monthly expenses reasonable means she doesn't need an enormous salary just to maintain her lifestyle. That's what financial stability really feels like. It's having room to breathe. It's knowing that one unexpected expense won't destroy everything. It's being able to make decisions because you want to, rather than because your next payment forces you to. So Jade now has 7 rules. Keep a gap between your income and your lifestyle. Keep emergency money separate. Don't spend tomorrow's income today. Automate your savings. Control emotional spending. Don't spend to look rich. And use money to buy freedom and options. But there's one final question Jade asks herself. If her income disappeared tomorrow for a few months, would her entire life collapse? Would every payment immediately become an emergency? Or would she have enough financial breathing room to stop, think, and figure things out? That's the real meaning of financial stability. It's not about predicting every emergency. You can't. It's about becoming harder to financially destroy. You don't have to change your entire life tomorrow. Start with one rule. Build your first emergency fund. Check where your money actually went last month. Cancel payments you don't need. Automate a small amount from your next paycheck. And when your income rises, don't automatically upgrade everything around you. Because the richest looking person in the room isn't necessarily the wealthiest. Sometimes it's the woman who doesn't panic when something goes wrong. The woman who doesn't need to impress anyone. The woman whose paycheck isn't already promised to 15 different payments before it arrives. The woman who has options. And that's the kind of rich Jade is trying to become. Not rich looking actually. Free. Subscribe and join Jade on the journey.